What is good, lads? It's CJ here. Not in character today because I can only be so much from help when we're talking about serious subjects. And in all honesty, having finished the script for this and ran it all in the space of 10 minutes at 2 AM. Yes, I do script some of my videos. I know. Mind blowing. It has literally bloody everything. So get the tissues ready and get ready for the hairs on the end of your arms to be standing up by the end of it. Because this is some real inspirational shit right here. First of all, before I start, England fans who would like to see England actually win something, look no further than my last video. Yep, gotta get that self-pro in there. Shameless plug. For the rest, please like, comment and subscribe. I genuinely can't put into words how much it means to me. Also, if you want to have a chat and have some absolutely shite banter with yours truly, I do have a Discord, the link's in the description. But anyway, as you can see, no FIFA today because it's basically fuck football. Just want to use this video to give my thoughts on the Euros as a whole and obviously the final, unfortunately. Taking a bit of time to collect my thoughts because I haven't felt this bad since my mum called me a useless ginger cretin for the 5th time that day. Anyway, firstly, and in all honesty the most obvious part, the reaction from certain people to Saka, Rashford and Sancho, and I'm sure Sterling's probably getting it. It's nothing short of a fucking disgrace. The racist messages, the victim blaming and the fucking monkey emojis. It's genuinely so sad. And obviously I have next to a tiny audience, but anyone involved is just a bloody saddo. If you can honestly send shit like that, purely because you're over the internet, you're just a pitiful excuse for a human. At the end of the day, the order was definitely wrong for the penalties. But that's just hindsight shit, who cares? It's over, there's not much we can do now. Even if I personally would have had Kane going for Maguire first, that's my opinion, who knows, maybe they would have missed if you moved them. It's what happens, it's football, it's a lottery. The on-performance on the pitch, or the end result of 12-yard kicks, a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old stepped up to take a penalty in the most high-pressured situation English football has literally ever seen. Yes, that is a fact. Maybe that football match between Germany and England in World War II, but who knows? They could have pulled a gun at any moment. All I know is, what the other lad who missed has done ridiculous amounts of charity work, and what's his reward? Getting his fucking mural defaced. Come on. It's just a bunch of pathetic people, to be honest. But anyway, did they miss? Sadly, yes. Would 90% of us miss when faced with a generational keeper? Maybe not me, because my no-look pens are literally unsavable in the playground. The 11-year-old Donnies in goal, literally, they don't stand a chance. But yes, you lot may have missed. We can blame everyone who didn't take a penalty for as long as we want. But who knows if they would have scored? Let's all focus on one thing. Jordan Pickford is a fucking G and deserves a statue. Because that man is a fucking god amongst men and pens. It's accurate either way. Saka, Rashford and Sancho will all go on to win trophies. Saka in that case, probably more than the others. And hopefully one day for England. But on this day, they didn't let anyone down. So all of the waste management they did, do me a favour, go outside, over your mum's basement, wash your dirty armpits and use some Causadil for your stanky rancid breath, and go and touch some grass. Promise you, you'll be better for it. I truly promise you that. So on to the final. To be honest, it was so incredibly winnable that it is genuinely painful. The subs were a complete mess, and saving 2 subs for penalties when you could see a whole team were dead on their feet, it is outrageous. I mean, I don't agree with ever making subs in extra time. I think you make your subs at full time and you give them that 30 minutes to play. Obviously Southgate sees it differently to me, and Not everyone's as talented manager as me, so you've got to understand it, you know. You've got to get it. Not everyone is crack as TV. It's fair enough. It is hard to blame Southgate because he did get us to the final, and he made a lot of good decisions on the way. But if Sterling isn't taking a penalty, he was nothing but dead weight. Does that mean I'm going to shout at him for the next 10 years? No, because it's not his fault he was in that position. It's not his fault his goals carried us to the final. And as much as Southgate did get wrong, and should have absolutely left Mount on if we were thinking about penalties, you can see after the Denmark game where he had those boys on toast, he was spreading it. He had that defender's legs looking looser than a number one hoa in a brothel. You get why he kept Sterling on. Was it the wrong choice in the end? Probably was. But there's not much you can really do. In all honesty, the better manager won. That's all you can say. And it's hard to do anything but congratulate Italy. They were the best team throughout the tournament. They lost their most influential player. Yes, he was. Spinazzola was having a tournament. And they came into another team's country with two gimp-legged pensioners and they pulled it off. So fair fucks. Now though, to all of those weirdos who use football as an excuse to be racist or xenophobic, and I mean on both sides because I've seen it from English people, I think it's very obvious from English people, and I've seen it from people just using it against England. Please go and play hide the lollipop with your uncle because I think that's a more apt sport for you. Genuinely, we all know the same men with their monkey emojis and throwing unnecessary shots at people who are already down are the same men who get weak knees when they stand up to do a presentation in front of their class. So to all of you dry-lipped waste men, please just fuck off the internet. We'll all be better for it and you might actually develop some sort of social awareness. I promise you, none of your friends are going to be impressed that you got 5 upvotes on Reddit. Not one of them. At this point, I do think fines need to be handed out to social media companies based on the content they allowed to stay up. I mean, those monkey emojis, they're probably still up now, some of them, and it's just a fucking disgrace. They're not doing a job to protect people because their wallets aren't being hurt. If it was a video of Saka's penalty miss, that shit has gone down already. You can guarantee it. But all these monkey emojis, all these fucking N-word this, N-word that, is still up there. I'm not being funny. We have racists on Insta and Twitter. We have fucking white supremacists on Facebook. And we have literal nonces on Twitch. And they don't care. Because it doesn't impact their pockets. I mean, fuck me, how are these people allowed to communicate with billions of people when they're only kiss each other from Big Sue's their ugly aunt? I mean, come on. Until we start finding these social media companies, they ain't gonna do shit. You have their employees working overtime when they could easily just say, here's a technology to get rid of all of these comments. Why the fuck's the monkey emoji a fucking thing? I'm sorry. No one uses that monkey emoji for anything but racism. Just get fucking rid of it. It doesn't need to be a thing anymore. I know they'll find another way, but at least it's a fucking step in the right direction, because at this point it's a fucking disgrace. At the end of the day, I know I have a very young audience, so just remember this, yeah, take this lesson, if you're English especially. A 19-year-old boy stepped up with the pressure of 60 million plus people on his shoulders and took all of that with courage and bravery that most of us could probably only wish of having. If he can do that, why the fuck can't you do that thing you've been putting off? Everyone, including the players, I will at times critique. They're heroes. All my shite football opinions are just that they're a load of shite spoken by a lad who's literally only good at blocking the ball in real life. I ain't talented enough to ever get near them. Lads, just remember, if you aren't pushing yourselves, if you aren't trying to meet your goal, if you aren't striving for the future you dream of, if you're a bit scared because something's out of your comfort zone, why the fuck not? Why aren't you doing things? Why aren't you trying to work towards that final goal? I don't care if you're 8 years old, I don't care if you're 19, I don't care if you're 29, I don't care if you're 40. If there's an end goal and you're just sitting on your ass doing nothing, come on. Turn my shit video off right now and start fucking pushing yourselves. I don't care if I lose some minutes of watch time. My goal with YouTube is to make people better. I know, even if you think, oh look, all you do is make shite jokes. Yeah, I know. If it cheers people up, then if it cheers one person up, then I've achieved my goal. Honestly, I've always wanted to kind of branch out into motivational YouTube because having taught kids, I think it's something I can do. And if seeing a 19-year-old do that doesn't motivate you to make you think you can do anything, I don't know what will. Because that 19-year-old is going to show up for Arsenal 2 months from now, and I guarantee he is going to be playing some ridiculous football. I can guarantee that. Take this from someone who has been at the absolute bottom, who's felt loss, failure, rejection. At the end of the day, trying with the right attitude and a smile on your face. Look, I ain't saying it's going to absolutely get your goal, but when we all fucking croak it, and for me probably sooner, that'll be sooner than you lot. Just know, when you do, having people who love and respect you around, it makes all of that feel a lot worse when you do struggle. Knowing there's people there to help you, it's the main way of getting through it, I promise you. Knowing there's people you need to push through for. When my mum passed away, my first thought was, I can't be sitting here on my hands. I need to help my siblings. I was the youngest, and my whole thing was, I can't be sitting there crying all day. I can't be sitting there depressed, even if I did play the new FIFA that entire night. You need to be there for people sometimes, even when it's difficult. You need to be able to push yourself more than you ever believed you could. Because believe me, at the end, it does feel pretty fucking good to be loved. So, sorry about the tangent, I think I'm pretty famous from now. But anyway, probably the first time probably absolutely the first time you ever seen why I became a teacher, to be fair. I wrote this all straight down free, haven't I? Just came up with all this shot on the fly. Fuck me. Anyway, truly though, lads, as much as last night sucked, and it will be as low as it has gone for many of us in football, there's always hope, and there's always a star boy to count on. Even if it is Saka or Greenwood or Foden or whoever. Just believe in them. They're going to take us far. I will say though, this is the one thing that really griped me with this match. The ref was a genuine disgrace. I'm not saying he was biased to anyone. He was just shit. He didn't play with any consistency. There was no flow to the game because of it. He was rolling the dice on every decision. And Bjorn Koopmeiners, well, if that is your real name. Bjorn Kuipers, I'm pretty sure it is. I know I said I wasn't going to be abusive. But good riddance, because if I performed like that at my job, I would be getting the sack as well. He let both sides down yesterday. He really did. On to the Euros as a whole though. I think everyone will agree it was genuinely fantastic. And it was exactly what Europe and the world needed after the past year. Denmark fighting back to the semis after what they went through. Incredible. Seeing Rabiot's mum send him for Mbappe's. It was jokes. And watching some absolutely quality, peak level football. It's the pinnacle. It does not get better than that. And I'm quickly going to tip my cap for myself for saying Denmark would get to the semis.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
Because I know Fitba. What I honestly found the most enjoyable and interesting though, the emphasis on the team. So often international football has become about individual stars making their moments. Mbappe's ridiculous run against Argentina, Ronaldo's free kick against Spain, going back to Maradona's run against England. You always remember those individual moments. But even if players like Mahale, however you pronounce it for their muck, and Schick for Czech, even if they added to their resume, you could see it was all about team football, and it's why Italy and England got the furthest, because it's what I said from the start. You have your identity, you play to your identity, and you give it all. You never drop that identity no matter what. And it's why Italy and England got to the finals, because they had the style of play, even if I don't necessarily agree with it, and they stuck to it. The finals was won by one manager outmanaging the other, and as much as it sucks, it was cool to see. It was cool to see a manager take the centre stage. And I mean, even if travel arrangements played a much bigger factor than it ever should, we had a man getting bullied for defending a crying child. And he was a bit of a weirdo, to be fair. We had Saka on a unicorn, Chiellini making Alba look like a puppy dog, and Scotland being shy. My god, it is fun watching Scotland be shy, ain't it just? Excuse my WhatsApp, you know, I'm a very popular individual. There was a lot to love and hate, especially if you had fucking Sweden in your sweepstakes like I did. But on to the future of England, because as bright as it looks, it's hard to imagine France not coming back with a bang and making the rest of the world look like Vieira did Anelka in that shower that one day when he was slapping him with his big black schlong. This may be one of the few major shots we get, but who knows? We do have a golden generation. We did have the best depth at the tournament. And you can say France. France subbed on Moussa Sissoko, so you can suck out if you're saying France have more depth than us. We had Sancho and Grealish not even coming on certain games. That's how good we are. In all honesty though, if Southgate isn't going to start trying to play fluid attacking football, as fantastic a job as he has done, and as incredible as the team spirit is, we need to move on to someone who will. It was very clear that Mancini was a level above him on Sunday, and it did make a difference. As well as we were set up throughout the tournament, playing defensive football is only getting so far unless you either have Adair or are Greek, or both if you're very lucky. The only way we are going to close this gap and get over that final hurdle is by having a team willing to play on the front foot and experienced enough at it to take the initiative. You saw Italy against Spain, you saw Italy against England. They knew when to take risks, they knew when to step back. They were ready for every single possible moment in that game. We need to be that too. We need to get used to attacking big teams. We can't be playing this defensive, hope a cross goes through, hope Kane does something special football anymore, because it is what we do. And we can't rely on luck anymore, because as you saw, a set piece can be your undoing. If you're only scoring one goal, you're not going to win as many games as you'd like. That sounds like such a Mike Owen quote, but it's true. Who we'd move on to? All I know is they'll probably be English, so they'll probably be even worse, and I'm going to sound like an absolute dickhead when we do. But let's be real, he was truly cowardly with certain decisions. Not making a sub until way too late, leaving Sterling on even though he was clearly gassed, and he is going to get scapegoated for his performance, but the lad was fucking gassed. He'd carried us through the tournament, who can blame him? Bringing Ben White over James Ward-Prowse, I mean, it sounds like captain in hindsight, but James Ward-Prowse would have been pretty useful yesterday for penalties, wouldn't he? I'd love to see Bellingham get a look in. If it's as a 2 still, fair. I'd rather play a 3 in midfield with Bellingham, Phillips and Rice. And not playing Bellingham at all was understandable, but he's a very special player. And the more football him and Rice get together, because, I mean, subbing off Rice was a joke. Rice was the best player on the pitch. but they need to get football together. They need to start experiencing football. So we can't have the excuse at the World Cup. We can't sub on Bellingham. We can't bring a player we can't sub on. And that was what Bellingham was. We need to get Bellingham that experience now. I do rate Calvin Phillips, but the lad looked like me trying to chat up a girl yesterday. Please, madam, would you share your digits to your cellular device with me? It would be splendid indeed if you would also send me some nudes. That sounds stupid, but he just looked nervous, man. And I love Calvin Phillips. The man sprinted over to Saka like a big brother defending his little one. But he did just look nervous. And again, it comes to experience. The more he plays at a high level, the more experience he'll get. But for now, I just think Bellingham, he needs that chalice and needs to be told to run with it. Harry Kane, the less said about him, the better. But I do think one thing needs to be said. This man needs to stop begging to move somewhere he can win trophies. I'm an Arsenal fan, so it would be great if he moved away from Tottenham. But when he bottles final after final after final, you can give him all the excuses from before. He wasn't injured. He had good form. The man came early and never got going again after the 20th minute. His wife must be so disappointed with the amount of premature ejaculation he must do. At the end of the day, I think we all know the game will be down to the midfield. And it at least just never looked threatened. Let's be real. I'm not having this Jorginho as a world-class footballer suddenly. The man passed the ball into his own net against Arsenal when he was pressed. The man can be pressed, but we just didn't do it. On to the positives though, and I'm sorry for how long this video is going, but I need to get this all off my chest. And I think we all know I love the sound of my own voice. John Stones, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, my god, you are heroes. Luke Shaw slander, it will no longer be allowed on this channel. The guy is a literal god of a fullback. And the two centre backs, they epitomised England. They threw themselves into everything and never shied away. They are both lads who can take the country forward. And they give me hope because those boys will fight for Queen and country. And I fucking sound like such an EDL member. But they just get it. They get what international football is. They get what international football means. And some people don't. Going forward for England though. It sounds so basic and it's going to make me sound like such a fucking backseat manager. We need to look at England, Liverpool shape proper. Because we could replicate something similar. Bellingham, Rice, Phillips and that three, they've got the technical ability, they've got the work, right? Do they have the experience or kind of the intelligence to know when to fill the gaps? Maybe not, but again, that comes with playing. They can play that role that Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita whenever he's not crocked, Henderson play. I mean, we've got Henderson. We need to get Trent back in the team because obviously he was injured, but you don't drop world-class players, and Trent is a world-class player. Trent and Luke Shaw are the best fullback pairing in the world. I'm sorry, they are. There isn't a better fullback pairing in the world than Trent Alexander-Arnold and Luke Shaw. And if we get that hard-working midfield around them, with already ridiculous strength on the wings, we could play some incredible football. I get why we can't play like Liverpool in a tournament, because the midfield would be dead halfway through. But who's to say we can't have attacking fullbacks and centre mids willing to cover ground? I know we're probably only going to have 23 men for the next tournament, but I really hope you make sure Trent goes because we can't afford to drop him. Sancho is the question mark. If we can get that Dortmund Sancho, we have one of the best wingers in world football. It's time to give him the spotlight. It's time to give him that left side. I know it's Sterling's side. It's Sancho's best side. You see what Sancho does for Dortmund from there. We see we've got a player who's good as Rafael Guerrero and Luke Shaw. We need to give it to him. Sterling got us to the final, and by fuck did he look good against Denmark. But Sancho, Grealish, Saka, Mount, Foden, Greenwood, Rashford, they're the future on those wings. I know Sterling's not that old, but we can't afford to be chucking in players of that quality without having true international experience anymore. We can't be thinking, I don't know if I want to sub Jack Grealish on because, you know, he only played about 60 minutes in that last qualifier against Iceland, and that was a similar game here, so I don't know if I can sub him. No! You play them as much as possible, you get them that experience. This ain't some half-hearted attempt at Saka props or Saka standhood, or whatever the fuck you weirdos say anymore. I think Grealish and Sancho should be the go-to wingers. Saka's an option if we need a more defensive winger. We could even play Sancho, Grealish and Saka, because they're excellent players who are able to interchange, and they're good at they're very fluid positionally. I just don't think Sterling's a player that emphasises those around him. And I mean, when you've got Kane playing CDM for some fucking reason, turning into prime Scotty Parker, you need those creators behind him. Sterling isn't a creator, he's a goal scorer. And it's clearly, as much as that may have worked in the qualifiers against with Kane, it doesn't work against bigger nations. They don't play well together against bigger nations. It doesn't work for us. And with 3 creators behind Kane, he's got no excuse to be fucking playing like Victor Wanyama. My man needs to be in the box, not looking like a bow-legged brethren marking fucking Ciro Immobile. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. Honestly though, Harry Kane was avoiding the box in ways incels could only dream of. We need Kane pushing defenders back. If we need someone to play that Sun role that works well with him, we've got Rashford, and that's as good as England are going to get. Yeah, he wasn't fit this tournament, fair enough, but next year, hopefully he is, and we've got no excuse not to give him more game time when we need a goal scorer. We need our younger players, because it is a golden generation, playing in high pressure situations. We can't be scared of making subs because they don't know their role. I doubt Spain cared about Iniesta and Xavi's work rate and high intensity sprints when they were molly-morphing brethren so hard Genghis Khan would have wept with pride at how they were running over the rest of the world. All in all, the video is coming to an end, I promise now. It was a brilliant tournament, and coming so close, it is fucking shite. But even if Sadiq Khan and Boris Johnson still somehow managed to make England look like absolute leaks, it was cool to see us competing again. The England fans doing shit like defacing Rashford's mural, stepping on fags, and attacking people, they can truly go and fucking rot. You don't look cool, you don't look funny, you just look like a bunch of dickheads who are holding the country back. And yeah, I get it, that happens in every country, but that's not an excuse. Hold everyone accountable instead of excusing behaviour which is just genuine shite. I'm sorry. It bugs me, it really does bug me. But anyway, on to the World Cup. And in all honesty, I've got to watch another year of Arsenal playing and letting me down before it. So enjoy the mental breakdown of Quackers TV in the next year. I'm sure you're absolutely buzzing for it. I hope that beyond the shite rants and awful puns that I often make in videos, you can take the positives. It's one thing to take the piss out of a virtual character, but please remember everyone is human at the end of the day. Unless, no, to be fair, if you're one of those Twitter nonces who comment on every single post about one of Greenwood, Sancho, Saka or Foden about another being better, nah, you ain't human, you're some sort of weirdo at that point. Just, honestly, just be happy they exist and stop being weird. We should be proud that we have talent that level. Think about Harry Kane was fucking playing Leyton Orient and for Leyton Orient against Scunthorpe away with 17 fans in the crowd, all doing ket. We've got Greenwood scoring goals in the Prem. We've got Saka taking penalties in the European Cup final. We should be proud of them. So can we stop with this shit comparing? Because who fucking knows where it'll be in 6 years? Anyway, before I go, I just want to say one thing to you lads. Gopal, Marco, Blem, Jaden, Big Lingardinho, Adwait, Fion, A4, Pineapple Duck, Ace himself who's come around recently, and the rest of you cheeky little scamps. I want to say a heartfelt thank you for all of the support and all of the love at the start of this journey. I am sorry for the inconsistency. I'm sorry for the inconsistency in quality and quantity of uploads. I will push myself to do better. And believe me, I know there may only be 300 of us in Quacker's army right now. But at the end of the year, when we have 100,000 people here, when we are 100,000 strong men marching on FIFA YouTube, and that is a guarantee, I promise you, when FIFA 22 comes out, we are going straight to the fucking moon. Quacker's stock is going up, so buy in now. I will remember every single moment of love and support you lads have been showing me. So let's fucking do this, boys. Have a good one. And remember everything I said here. Yesterday may have sucked for many of us, but if a 19-year-old can do that, then the rest of you can fucking do more too. So let's keep pushing ourselves, because I know I'm going to as well. Fuck me, that went on much longer than it was meant to. That bloody everything, didn't it? Hope you all enjoyed. Remember, if you ever want to have a chat with me, I am on Discord. Peace, boys.